Amén.
Este drama va a tener como título David y Goliath. Now the Philistines gathered their forces for war and assembled at Soko in Judah. They pitched camp at Ephes-Dammim between Soko and Azekah. Saul and the Israelites assembled and camped in the valley of Elah and drew up their battle lines to meet the Philistines. The Philistines occupied one hill and the Israelites another, with the valley between them. A champion named Goliath, who was from Gath, came out of the Philistine camp. His height was 6 cubits and a span. He had a bronze helmet on his head and wore a coat of scale armor of bronze, weighing 5,000 shekels. On his legs he wore bronze greaves, and a bronze javelin was slung on his back. His spear shaft was like a weaver's rod, and its iron point weighed 600 shekels. His shield bearer went ahead of him.
Why do you line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine? Are you not servants of Saul? Choose one of them and come meet me in battle. If one of you can fight me and kill me, then we will become your subjects and serve you. If I overcome one of you and kill you, then you will become our subjects and serve us. On this day, I defy the armies of Israel. Come down and we will fight.
On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. Now David was the son of an Ephrathite named Jesse, who was from Bethlehem in Judah. Jesse had 8 sons, and in Saul's time he was very old. Jesse's 3 oldest sons had followed Saul to war. The firstborn was Eliab, the second Abinadab, and the third Shammah. David was the youngest. The 3 oldest followed Saul, but David went back and forth from Saul to tend his sheep at Bethlehem. For 40 days, the Philistine came forward every morning and evening and took his stand.
Saul, have you any man among you to come and fight me? I grow eager for blood.
Now Jesse said to his son David,
"Take this ephah of roasted grain and this handful of wheat from the camp. Take along the stations for the commander of the unit. See how your notes are and bring back some shirts from them. They are for Saul and all men of Israel who found them at
Early in the morning, David left the flock in the care of a shepherd, loaded up, and set out, as Jesse has directed. He reached the camp as the army was going out to its battle positions, shouting the war cry. Israel and the Philistines were drawing up their lines facing each other. David left his things with the keeper of supplies, ran to the battle lines and asked his brothers how they were. As he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, stepped out from his lines and shouted his usual defiance. And David heard it. Whenever the Israelites saw the man, they all fled from him in great fear.
There's not a warrior among the Israelites.
What will be done for the man who killed this Philistine and removed this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the army of the living God?
They repeated to him what they had been saying and told him. When Eliab, David's oldest brother, heard him speaking with the men, he burned with anger at him and asked,
"Why have you come down here? Why did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the fight."
Now what have I done? Can I even speak? Can I speak?
He then turned away to someone else and brought up the same matter, and the men answered him as before. What David said was overheard and reported to Saul, and Saul sent for him.
David,
Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. And your servant will go and fight him.
you're not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You're only a young man and he's been a warrior from his youth.
Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep when a lion or a bear came to carry off one of the sheep, a sheep of the flock. I went after it, shook it, and then rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, shook it, and killed it. But your servant has killed both a lion and a bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them because he defied the army of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paws of the bear will rescue me from the hands of this Philistine.
Amen.
Go with the Lord be with you.
Then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on the sword over his tunic and tried walking around because he was not used to them.
I cannot go with this because I'm not used to them.
So he took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd bag, and with his sling in his hand, approached the Philistine. Meanwhile, the Philistine, with his shield bearer in front of him, kept coming closer to David. he looked David over and saw that he was little more than a boy, glowing with health and handsome, and he despised him.
Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? I curse you in the name of Allah. Now come here, and I will give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals.
You come against me with swords and spears and javelin, but I come in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the army of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut your head off. This very day I will give the carcass of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals. The whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword and spear that the Lord seeks. For battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands.
As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone, without a sword in his hand, and he struck down the Philistine and killed him. David ran and stood over him. He took hold of the Philistine's sword and drew it from its sheath. After he killed him, he cut off his head with the sword. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. Then the men of Israel and Judah surged forward with a shout and pursued the Philistines to the entrance of Gath and to the gates of Ekron. Their dead were strewn along the Sharon road to Gath and Ekron. When the Israelites returned from chasing the Philistines, they plundered in their camp. David took the Philistine's head and brought it to Jerusalem. He put the Philistine's weapons in his own tent. As Saul watched David going out to meet the Philistine, he said to Abner, commander of the army, As soon as David returned from killing the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul, with David still holding the Philistine's head.
Whose son are you, man?
I'm the son of your servant Jesse of Bethlehem.